Walter Raleigh! Finally you find your way to the court. We have heard fascinating reports.
I won't flatter myself that they have all been favourable, your majesty.
I use my own scales to measure a man's value. You know that I knew your aunt, Cat Astley.
Our family was honoured by her appointment.
She was like a second mother to me. She set me on a path to knowledge. Look at the stars, my lady. Can you name them? She taught me the heavenly map, as well as un peu de Francais, Catim Latin, Ilinka, and even a great gob of Flemish. A very kind and learned lady. Did you know her well?
Her duties left her little time for visits home, but yes, I do have some fond memories of her. And her sister, my mother, was educated to a very great degree, like her. Well, for a woman.
Even mares can be taught to count, you know, with their hooves.
I did not mean to offend, madam.
I tease. You'll get used to it. But consider, we have both been brought up by sisters, and that almost makes us family. I could call you cousin, what, if you'll allow such familiarity from your queen.
You may call me by whatever name pleases, Majesty, and I would always be honoured.
Come nearer. At 15, you fought in France? So young. And we have noticed your campaign in Ireland and subduing the rebels and their allies.
I wanted to prove my worth to you.
And you are from Devon? More a merman than a gentleman.
I do love the sea. I believe I've been infected by the same sickness as many of my relatives.
You talk of sickness. I believe the sea can have such an effect on the most experienced sailor.
I meant the sickness, that passion for the sea that has infected so many of my kinsmen, Frobisher, Hawkins, Drake.
I hesitate to interrupt. I enjoy your voice and its rural cadences. But I am unlikely to be impressed with name-dropping.
Forgive me, my queen.
Don't look so anxious. I won't hurt you. I promise I'll play fair by you if you play fair by me, cousin Wat. I would hesitate, if you will pardon a poor jest, to be an unfairy queen.
My friend Spenser's epic poem.
I liked it very much, and I liked your sonnet that accompanied it. Methought I saw the grave where Laura lay within that temple where the vestal flame was wont to burn, and passing by that way to see the buried dust of living fame, whose tomb fair love and fairer virtue kept.
Well, suddenly I saw the fairy queen, at whose approach the soul of Petrarch wept, and from thenceforth those graces were not seen, for they this queen attended in whose stead oblivion laid him down on Laura's hearse. Here at the harder stones were seen to bleed, and groans of buried ghosts the heavens did pierce.
Where Homer's spirit did tremble all for grief, but cursed the access of that celestial thief. And what else will you bring to my court other than poetry?
Well, I'm here to report on your territory of Ireland and how we are suppressing the rebellion and resistance to being part of your kingdom. But I have a request, if you would hear it, your majesty.
Oh? You have been in court only a matter of minutes, and you are already demanding favours.
Please, gracious lady, grant me a license to sail west to establish a colony of Christians in the New World, and from there find a passage to the east.
And why would I do that?
Because whosoever commands the seas commands the trade. Whosoever commands the trade of the world commands the riches of the world, and therefore the world itself.
So, you would lay the command of the world at my feet, in the same way that a gallant would lay his cloak on some muddy ground for his lady to walk on.
I would not hesitate to lay my second-best cloak if it was in your service, my lady.
Then maybe I will grant you a second-best license. I'll ask the Privy Council to draw it up.
With your Majesty's permission, I would name any territory I secure for my colony after you, my gracious Queen.
You are very sure of yourself. What do you expect from me? Do you expect gold if you are successful?
Well, only if you think I deserve it.
I think you are at the start of a race to some prize that you yourself dare not imagine.
I welcome any reward from your Majesty's hands.
Bring me back a fistful of pearls from your brave new world, young Wat, and I will wear them in my hair for you.